In mid-2025, Russia didn't just showcase weapons, it delivered a message. At a highly publicized event, Russian military engineers from the International Mine Action Center laid out the remnants of war, NATO-supplied mines, and improvised explosive devices disguised as everyday household items. A stark reminder of the shadow modern warfare casts not only on soldiers, but on civilians and the environment. So why did Russia capture these weapons? What does it say about the state of the conflict? And how is it being used to sway the narrative? Let's break it down. The Russian Ministry of Defense pulled no punches in showing off the arsenal. On display were various types of landmines and grenades, lethal remnants of war designed to kill or maim with little warning. The collection included fragmentation grenades used in trench and close-quarter combat, as well as improvised explosive devices modified from standard munitions. But perhaps more concerning were the landmines, anti-tank, and anti-personnel models scattered across key conflict zones to halt troop movement and supply lines. Next, we were talking about anti-tank and anti-personnel mines that many reportedly supplied to Ukraine by NATO allies. According to Russian soldiers in a video released by the Ministry of Defense, among the items recovered were M6 anti-tank mines, originally developed by the United States during World War II and produced between 1944 and 1945. These mines, though old, are still highly lethal, especially when repurposed or modified. They also showcased M15 anti-tank mines, another Cold War-era US design containing over 10 kilograms of TNT, capable of disabling even heavily armored vehicles. Additionally, Ukrainian TM-62P mines, standard Soviet-designed anti-tank mines, were recovered, widely used across post-Soviet states, and easily deployable in large numbers. A new addition to the display drew particular attention: metal-sensitive cluster charges from Germany. These devices are designed to detect and home in on nearby metallic objects, such as vehicles or body armor, and automatically detonate. This isn't just classic mine warfare. This is smart mine technology meant to complicate demining efforts and maximize battlefield chaos. Also included were cumulative directional mines from Romania, engineered to penetrate armored vehicles using shaped charges. These discoveries not only point to Ukraine's diverse arsenal, but also raise further questions about third-party weapon flows into the conflict zone. And then there were the IEDs, improvised explosive devices camouflaged with chilling creativity. Russian sappers reported finding explosives hidden inside teddy bears, grenades wired to bundles of money, and booby-trapped furniture. These traps were clearly designed to exploit human behavior, targeting both combatants and anyone unlucky enough to stumble into an unsecured zone. The exhibition also included small Ukrainian UAVs, such as homemade FPV drones and kamikaze UAVs, rigged for direct strikes against vehicles, trenches, or buildings. These budget-built but highly effective drones reflect Kyiv's growing embrace of asymmetric aerial warfare. So how did these highly sensitive, often Western-supplied munitions end up in Russian hands? The answer lies in the battlefield dynamics of northeastern Ukraine and the Kursk border region. This zone has been a hotbed of cross-border raids, counterstrikes, and fluid front lines. In 2024, Ukrainian special forces penetrated deep into Russian territory, conducting fast, daring raids. But in 2025, the tide shifted. Russia's decision to publicly exhibit these weapons wasn't random, it was deliberate, and the messaging was twofold. First, technical superiority. By showing that its forces can capture and disarm NATO-grade equipment, the Kremlin aims to project strength. It's a flex, designed to reassure domestic audiences and intimidate foreign ones. Second, diplomatic maneuvering. Displaying Western-made munitions on Russian soil gives Moscow ammunition of the political kind. It fuels the Kremlin's claim that NATO is not just supporting Ukraine, but directly contributing to attacks on Russian territory. In international forums, this becomes a tool to delegitimize Western involvement and paint Russia as a victim of foreign escalation. But make no mistake, this is a double-edged sword. For Russia, these captured munitions are a goldmine of intelligence. Every dismantled drone, every disarmed mine gives insights into NATO tactics, timing mechanisms, and vulnerabilities. It also enables Russian engineers to craft better countermeasures, or even redesign similar devices for their own use. But it also underscores a deeper problem. The fact that Russia is finding these weapons on its own soil is a glaring reminder that the war is no longer confined to Ukraine. The front lines are fluid, and the homeland is now a battlefield. For Ukraine, the situation is equally precarious. Losing advanced munitions, especially Western-supplied, is a major operational risk. It compromises tactics, exposes logistics networks, and raises awkward questions among NATO donors. What happens if a NATO mine is used in an attack on Russian civilians? Or a cluster bomb with a Western serial number turns up in a propaganda reel? It's a diplomatic nightmare in the making. Already, countries like Germany and France are grappling with public pressure over the ethical boundaries of arms support. These captured weapons might just accelerate that debate. Meanwhile, Ukrainian forces are learning the hard way that battlefield withdrawals need better protocols. Destroying or booby-trapping leftover munitions is easier said than done in the chaos of retreat. But every cache left behind becomes a weapon for the enemy. Beyond the headlines and war rooms, these munitions leave behind something even deadlier: lingering death zones. Cluster bomblets fail to explode 10% to 40% of the time. Mines stay lethal for decades. IEDs can be triggered by the weight of a child's step. Agricultural land becomes no-go zones. Villages remain empty. Reconstruction is halted. In Ukraine alone, over 40 accredited mine clearance teams are now racing against time to neutralize unexploded ordnance. In Russia's Kursk region, similar efforts are underway. Because even when the front line moves, the danger doesn't. So, that's all for today. Thanks for watching.